Let's take a look at subtracting integers. We've done some of this on our elevator math, and we're just going to do a little review. Just remember, positive numbers mean going up the number line, and negative numbers mean heading down the number line. So if you think about this right here, this is like your elevator, this is your ground floor. If we started at floor 7 and we went down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we would end up at 2, which is 7 minus 5 is 2. Now let's take a look at negative 3. So we are at negative 3. We're going down 2, 1, 2. So we end up at negative 5. So this is what we were doing the other day, and now we're going to take a look at some similar types of problems. Here's just a little bit more of the review. 5 minus 3, starting at 5 and going down 3, 1, 2, 3. We end up at 2. This is just a regular subtraction problem, 5 minus 3. Now we could have 6 minus 8, starting at 6, going down 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We ended up at negative 2. We could also be at negative 3 here, and we're going to go down 2. So we are at negative 5. Now these are where it can get a little complicated. So we need to think of the 2. This is your positive 2. So we're starting at 0 and we went up 2. Now this minus sign here tells us to go backward, to go down the number line. But this negative is telling us to go in the opposite direction. So we're actually going to go up 1. So it's kind of like we are going to go, we're facing backward, down, but then we're going to take a step backward and we end up at 3. So if we take a look at this 2 minus negative 1, it's almost like we took these two signs and we turned the double negative into a positive, and it became 2 plus 1, which gave you the 3. We're going to do a couple more just in case it's a little bit hard to understand. So let's take a look at 1 minus negative 4. So here we're saying that we are going to be at the 1. The minus tells us that we're going to go down. But this negative is telling us we're going to go in the opposite direction that we were originally going to go. So we're actually going to go backward 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We end up at 5. So if you think about changing these two into a plus sign, 1 plus 4 is 5. Let's take a look at this last example. It's a little bit different. Now this one is saying, well, we're going to be at negative 5. The minus sign says we're going to keep going down, but we're going to go the opposite direction, which means now we're going to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we end up at 3. Well, let's take a look at what happens when we have negative 5 and then we add 8. It's just like starting at negative 5 and going up 8 floors to end up at the 3rd floor. Negative 5 plus 8 is 3. One more set of practice problems. So we have 8 minus 2. Just remember this is 6. And go ahead and use your elevator or use your number line at the back of your spiral to help you with this. 6 minus 8. Go ahead and start at the 6. We're going to go down 8. Where do you end up? You can always pause this video to answer the questions too. And you're at negative 2. Here we are at negative 7. This tells you, actually I'm going to erase this so you don't think we're going up. This tells you that we are going down 2. Negative 7 down 2 ends up at negative 9. Here we are at 3. We're going to go down, but in the opposite direction, which means we are actually going to add 3 plus 5, which is 8. Here we're starting at -3. This is telling you to go down, but in the opposite direction. This becomes -3 plus 1, which is going to be -2. And then 0 down 4 gives you -4. So check the website for any homework if you have any.